I'm from Omaha, so big volleyball community. Grew up watching the Huskers, like Jordan Larson, who's a big name in volleyball. She played at my club, so super cool to just like grow up around that. And I think as I continued to get older, volleyball grew more and more in Nebraska. But like I went to a super competitive high school. I won 4 state championships in high school for volleyball.
Wow. So why is volleyball such a big sport in Nebraska? Because I remember when the huge game in the stadium, like the Husker Stadium, happened, and I was like, volleyball's so obviously big in Nebraska, but why? Back on Hill to her, we've got Morgan Burke, women's volleyball at Michigan. Thanks for being here, Morgan.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're back at Pretzel Bell, and we obviously want to talk about our favorite things. Tell me about growing up in Nebraska. You're the only Nebraska girl on your entire team. So tell me about growing up in that area.
Yeah, I mean, being from Nebraska, obviously like a little smaller. I'm from Omaha, so big volleyball community. Grew up watching the Huskers, like Jordan Larson, who's a big name in volleyball. She played at my club, so super cool to just like grow up around that. And I think as I continued to get older, volleyball grew more and more in Nebraska. But like I went to a super competitive high school. I won 4 state championships in high school for volleyball.
Wow. I mean, I feel like that's a big deal because the volleyball there is good anyways, but to win four national championships is crazy.
No, it was super cool. So just being a part of that, a lot of my like teammates all play in college that I played with and stuff. So just being part, I'm trying to like bring that culture to wherever I go. It was like always a thing. I was just like, I love Omaha and like I'll probably be back there someday, but I was like, I need to go somewhere else and like spread my wings and find another home, and then eventually come back. So definitely loved my years growing up there. It's always good to go back home, but yeah.
Okay, so why is volleyball such a big sport in Nebraska? Because I remember when the huge game in the stadium, like the Husker Stadium, happened, and I was like, volleyball's so obviously big in Nebraska, but why? Like, is there a reason?
Well, we don't have pro teams in Nebraska. So like we don't have a football team, no basketball team. So I think like people were just looking for something to cheer for, and volleyball is obviously super big. And so like the Devaney Center is huge, and like just the fans and the culture around volleyball and Omaha is crazy. And now like Nebraska has 2 pro leagues for volleyball. So it's like kind of a powerhouse. Yeah. So like everything kind of is coming out of Nebraska. And I think the Nebraska coaches did a really good job of like doing that big game in the stadium was huge. Like no one's ever done that before.
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
It was so cool. But like getting those fans and like the turnout that they had was just super cool. So I don't know. I just think like fans wanted something to see, and like that's what we have. And so it just kind of grew and grew into this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you think the style of play, how do you think the style of play is different in Nebraska versus in the this area of the Midwest, or like maybe East or West Coast? Do you feel like there's a difference?
I don't feel like there's a huge difference. I mean, I'll say like I feel like growing up in like at least the club I played at, like everyone was like super well rounded, and it was like we trained every position and like we did everything. So you were capable to like be a hitter, be a center. Like I was in high school and like I was an outside hitter like in high school all 4 years, but like I'm a setter here. So like just being able to like do a lot of things. I don't know if that's just like the Midwest or whatever, but I feel like that was something that was like very beneficial, especially coming to college, just like being so well-rounded in so many different aspects of the game.
Okay, so in general, why volleyball? What were you pursuing when you were younger? I know your brother plays college football. What kind of brought you to the sport?
Yeah, growing up, I mean, I played a bunch of different sports like softball, soccer. I mean, I remember like playing soccer and like I didn't make the team with all my friends, and I was like, okay, like I don't want to play anymore. I was like, I'm good. And then I kind of just like fell into volleyball. I mean, I started playing when I was like in 2nd grade, and we played for the Y, and our team was called Flower Power, and like
so
it was so cute. Like we had these tie-dye t-shirts and like all this stuff, and I just loved it. Like the team sport aspect of it, like it was just so fun to me, and no one like I really knew had played. Like I kind of just like found it and stepped into it and started playing, and from then like it was really the only sport I kind of played growing up. I'd play beach volleyball in the summers like with my partner, but just kind of like fell in love with it. I always played up when I was younger because I was so little, but then eventually I played with my age group. But yeah, I just loved it, fell in love with the game and everything. Like there's so much to offer. And so, yeah.
Okay, so at what point, at different points in your upbringing, what were you doing to make yourself really good at the sport, to set yourself up to be in that club team that was so good?
Yeah, I think I was just always in the gym, like all the time. Like my friends and I would be in the gym, like be at lessons. Like I had amazing club coaches and high school coaches, which I'm very grateful for because they developed me so well. So I think just like doing the extra work that like everyone like always says, like, oh yeah, you need to do the extra work, but like actually putting that work in when you're younger, like will actually pay off in the end. And I think I've definitely seen that being here.
Okay, so what brought you to Michigan? What led to the decision to come here?
Yeah, so obviously looking at a bunch of different schools, but came on my visit to Michigan. I knew I wanted to go somewhere away from home, like not too far. Obviously,
was Nebraska an option?
I didn't want to stay home, so no. So I was like, I want to go somewhere else and like explore. Like I was like, I can always come home, but like it'll be tougher to leave. So explored, did the transfer, or not transfer, the recruiting, all that. Came on my visit to Michigan and like I just like fell in love with it. I feel like it literally has everything to offer, like such good academics, such good school. Like the social life is great. Volleyball is in the best conference in the for volleyball. So it was just like, you kind of can't go wrong here. And it was close enough to home. Like my parents, like it's only an hour flight away.
Oh, that's so
yeah.
nice.
So my parents come to like every home game and like they're always here. So I still get like that part of home, but I just fell in love with it here, the people and everyone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about your adjustment to playing at the college level, because you've been good since you were a freshman here. Like I remember watching you play and being like, oh my gosh, she's so young. Like, what do you think helped your transition and what were the biggest adjustments in college?
Yeah, I think like right off the bat, like one of the biggest adjustments was just like being a setter. Like the speed of the game is so much faster. Like playing in high school, like I was setting like these like rainbow balls and like it was just so slow. And like I remember coming here and like Aaron was like, all right, like we gotta speed it up, like we can't. And I was just like, okay. But like that was like one learning curve that it was just like so different than what I've been used to. So I think just like the speed of the game, how it plays and like everything was a big adjustment. But I think like just like leaning on, it was also crazy like thinking that like I'm an 18-year-old playing with like these 22, 23-year-olds and like here I am just like on the court. But I think like leaning on my teammates and like they really, like the seniors really took us in freshman year and kind of just like helped us get in the gym. And obviously like we came early in the summer, so open gyms really helped to like just get your foot in the door before preseason started.
Okay, if there's one thing that you think put you in a position to contribute as an underclassman, what do you think that would be?
I think just like taking the advice from like my coaches and like really putting it to work. I think like sometimes freshmen come in like super scared and like obviously like I was a little timid, like I wasn't sure if I had a voice yet, like I'm a freshman, like all those kinds of things. But I think just kind of like stepping into that and like, okay, like I'm on this team for a reason and like I'm here to make a difference. So kind of just like no matter how old you are, like freshman, senior, whatever, like you're on this team for a reason. So kind of just like stepping into that, leaning on my teammates, leaning on my coaches. And
yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I think I read that you had double-digit assists every single game. Is that correct? I know from 2024, but this season as well, I think so too. That's really cool. Okay, so tell me about your relationship with veterans like Allison Jacobs. She was on a previous podcast here. Tell me about like being able to have a role similar to hers in leadership and being so good and having double digits every single game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously couldn't do it without my teammates. Just having like a super good relationship with them is super beneficial. Just, I mean, like we're connecting all the time, whether like it's me making a mistake or them, like we're always in constant communication. So being able to have that good relationship where I can be like, hey, like I need you to do this better, and like them not getting offended by it, I think goes a long way. So building those relationships off the court, especially, like our team is super close and we do a lot of things together outside of volleyball that I think really help us on the court. And like last summer we got to go to Europe for a trip.
Yes,
so that was super fun, and just to like get to bond over there and like see a different culture and be together. I think really helped us. But yeah, definitely big on relationships and just building that, which will help succeed on the court.
Okay, where did you go in Europe?
So we went to Italy and we went to Greece. So we went to like Rome, Milan, Venice, and Florence and Greece, in Italy. And then we went to like a couple different places in Greece, but it was so much fun.
Okay, so did you play the national teams there?
We played like the Italians national team, but like their second team.
Wow.
Which like Italy won the like whole world thing last year. So like that was a tough game. But then we played some like other small teams, but it was just so fun. Like even their style of play is so much different than like here. So it was just fun to like learn about ourselves when we were there and just explore.
I love that that's your experience, because the competitiveness, we did a Europe trip the summer after my sophomore year, and we played Barcelona and Germany, and it was like we had put on a clinic. Like we were teaching them what to do. And I think it's so cool how much your sport has grown so that like you're having a really tough game in Europe. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. I mean, obviously, like none of us were like expecting that, and then we're like, oh, okay. But like, I mean, it makes sense. Like a lot of people from here like go overseas to play pro and like play in different pro leagues. So like, it's just a big thing like worldwide, which is super cool.
Okay, if you had to pick a place to play pro, whether it be in the U.S. or overseas, where would it be?
I think I would love to go back to Italy and like play there. Like I loved it. I mean, like the food, the people, like everything. I was like, I could totally see myself living here for a little bit. So I would say probably like go overseas somewhere.
Yeah, you could be over there with Jordan Hobbs, our pro basketball player over there.
For sure. No, she looks like she's living life.
I know.
There. I'm like, I'm so jealous.
That's so awesome. Okay. Tell me about some of your most memorable games so far. I have seen you play in so many different games and so many different levels, but tell me about what some of your favorite, most memorable games have been in college.
I think one from this year was definitely our win against Xavier in the tournament. It was our first year, or my first year at least, in the tournament, and like our first year back in the tournament from a couple years. So that was just super cool. Like the environment, we had a lot of our family and like parents there and everything, and it was just super cool and like such a good feeling after we won to just advance to the next round. So that's definitely one that sticks out. Another one from this year was when we upset Penn State, because Penn State won the national championship last year. So that was fun, and it was at home. So like ran in the locker room and like sprayed our coaches with water and everything. So that was super fun. So those are probably like the two that stand out to me the most for sure.
Okay, so what is it like to play under Coach Erin Virtue? She's pretty renowned in her career as a Olympic coach and at Michigan. So tell me about what that's like.
Yeah, no, it's super awesome to play for her. She's super knowledgeable of the game, and she was a setter in college, so like it's so nice.
She knows what she's talking about.
She knows what she's doing. So yeah, she just has like so much to say, and it's just so cool to be able to play under her. I mean, I wasn't recruited by her, but just to like come into her and like see what she's done at the program has been like very rewarding.
Okay. I also want to talk about your recruiting process and what that's like in terms of recommendations for younger girls, because this podcast is about inspiring young women. Tell me about advice that you would give for people in the club recruiting process to come to college.
Yeah, I think one big thing is like you don't have to play on like a big club team. Like my club team was never like winning national titles or like all that stuff, but like, I think you just have to be the one that stands out on your team. Like, you could be playing, like, a super good team, and, like, college coaches could be there watching that team, but, like, you stand out, and then they see you. So I think just, like, doing the little things to, like, make yourself stand out, like, be a good teammate and, like, do all those good things, and, like, you'll get noticed.
Okay, do you think there are any mistakes that you see recruits or even with the portal now? Do you see people making mistakes, and what are they like?
I think, like, I mean, mistakes, I don't know. I feel like just, like, trying to walk into each school with, like, an open mind kind of thing. Like, sometimes I see recruits coming in and it's like, do you even, like, want to be here kind of thing? Or, like, taking visits and, like, that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like just have an open mind, like, whether you want to go there or not, like, kind of, like, fake it till you make it and, like, act like it. Because I think that goes a long way, especially, like, building relationships with teammates and, like, people who you potentially play with kind of thing.
Okay, so what is the revenue sharing world like in volleyball? Is it kind of similar to women's basketball in that like people are being paid, or what is that like?
Yeah, so we get a little bit of revenue sharing, which is awesome. Like super grateful for that. Not like a ton, but I think it's probably similar to women's basketball. But hopefully, I mean, I'm sure that will continue to grow as volleyball gets bigger and bigger. But yeah, so a little bit. I mean, I think that's why a lot of girls are going into the portal because they know that they can make more money, which is tough, like leaving programs and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure volleyball will only continue to grow from here.
Do you think there's anything about Michigan that's keeping people from doing that? Or like where does Michigan stand in terms of all of that part of like the transfer portal and revenue sharing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to leave some place that has this good of academics and like this good of like life after college. I mean, I walk around all the time and it's like go blue, and like you don't see that very often anywhere else. And so I think just like the Michigan name itself holds a lot of power, and I think that is what holds a lot of people here.
Okay, kind of similar to that, what has NIL looked like for you?
It's definitely there. Like NIL is obviously there. Like if you want it, like you can go out and like seek it out. But I think it's tougher. Like not a lot of like people are coming to find you. So it's kind of like if you want to do it, you got to go seek out those kinds of things. Like, I mean, I did a NIL deal with like State Farm and like a few things. Yeah, which is like super cool. But I mean, other than that, it's kind of like, it's almost like another job, kind of like you have to do it on the side. You have to seek out these things. And if you want it, like it's there for you, but you don't have to.
So a deal like State Farm, how did you acquire that?
So we have like a person like in the athletics department who helps us, and like she honestly just like reached out to me and like found it for me kind of thing. Yeah. So it's a lot of like that, like especially like they're trying to find like people who are like best for certain deals and like that kind of stuff. So I think the athletic department does a good job of like trying to find that. But again, like most of the deals you find are like kind of like you got to go out and seek them yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, very much so. I think Ashley Sofakanik, who we had on here last, said the exact same thing. Like it is such a side job when you're in college because not a lot of people are seeking out women in sport unless you're like an AZ FUD or I don't know, like a women's basketball player, maybe a Nebraska Husker volleyball player. So, okay. Let's discuss kind of closing out here what next semester here is going to be like for you as you guys are entering like spring ball and then your senior season, what you're looking forward to there.
Yeah, so spring will just be like 8 hours of practice up until spring break, and then we jump into 20 hours after spring break. So just getting back into the groove kind of thing, just being able to like really break down different skills and just develop those, especially like the new kids who didn't really like, we kind of just jump in the fall and it's like, here we go. So just being able to like break down stuff and have more time in the gym will be super nice this spring. And then heading into my senior season, which is like crazy to say, but just hoping to like, I mean, we set the standard last year of like making it to the tournament and making a run there. So I think that's the same standard that we hold next year. Just being competitive, being a competitive program and continuing to get better each year and just make that run.
Yeah. I just want to thank Pretzel Bell again for having us because they give us this gracious, beautiful space to talk with amazing athletes like yourself. So, come to Pretzel Bell, come get this, the goat cheese frites, whatever. But thank you guys again for having us. And thanks for being here, Morgan. I was so excited to talk to you. Go Blue.